Think back to a summer when you were 6 years old. Remember how endlessly long it felt? School was out and 3 whole months stretched ahead like an entire lifetime of possibility. Every single day felt like its own complete adventure, full of new things to discover, explore, and remember forever. Now think about last summer. Where did it actually go? It feels like it lasted about a week, maybe less. This isn't your imagination playing tricks on you. This is one of the strangest, most well-documented phenomena in psychology and neuroscience. As you get older, time genuinely feels like it speeds up. Scientists have several compelling theories for why this happens, and nearly all of them start with the brain itself. Every single day, your brain processes an absolutely enormous amount of new information. But the key detail is this: it isn't just passively processing information. It's actively deciding what is genuinely worth remembering and what can simply be discarded forever. When you're a child, almost everything around you is new. A trip to the grocery store, learning a new word, the first time you ride a bicycle, the very first day at a new school. Your brain treats these moments as genuinely significant because they truly are, and it builds dense, rich neural connections specifically to encode them permanently for later recall. And here's the crucial part of this entire mechanism. The density of memories you form during any given stretch of time is directly tied to how long that exact period feels, in retrospect, years later. More distinct memories packed tightly into a single week makes that week feel noticeably longer when you eventually look back on it from the future. Inside the brain, a small structure called the hippocampus plays a central role in this entire process. It acts almost like a librarian, deciding which experiences get filed away as long-term memories and which ones simply fade away within hours, never to be recalled again clearly. This connects to something psychologists call proportional time perception. When you were 5 years old, one single year was 20% of your entire life up to that point. It was enormous, practically the whole world you had ever known, stretching out endlessly in every direction you could imagine. By the time you turn 50, 1 year is just 2% of your life so far. Mathematically, it's a much smaller slice of the overall pie. Your brain seems to measure time, at least in part, relative to how much life you've already lived through up to that exact moment. Which means each new year naturally feels shorter and shorter as the denominator of that fraction keeps growing larger and larger with every passing birthday. A year at 50 simply cannot compete mathematically with how enormous a single year felt back when you were 5 years old. There's also an important chemical piece to this entire puzzle. Novel experiences trigger a release of dopamine in the brain, the same neurotransmitter deeply involved in motivation, reward, and learning new things. Children encounter far more genuine novelty in a single week than most adults typically do in an entire month. New smells, new social situations, new physical skills to master, new places to explore for the very first time. Each of these new experiences essentially stamps a memory more vividly and more permanently into the overall timeline of your life, making that specific moment far easier to recall years later. Adults, on the other hand, often settle comfortably into routine, the same route to work every single morning, the same coffee order, the same conversations with the same co-workers day after day, and when the brain doesn't register anything as genuinely new or different, it simply doesn't bother encoding much memory at all. Modern technology may actually be making this entire problem noticeably worse for many people. Endless scrolling through social media feeds creates an illusion of constant novelty, when in reality the brain quickly habituates to this repetitive pattern, treating each scroll as just another forgettable, interchangeable moment rather than something genuinely worth remembering. This is actually the heart of the entire phenomenon we're exploring today. Time, as we experience it afterward, looking back, is not measured by any clock at all. It's measured instead by memory density, by how many distinct, separate moments your brain actually managed to capture and store along the way. Think about a vacation where every single day involves something completely different. New food, new sights, new unfamiliar people to meet and talk with. When you look back on that one single week trip later, it can genuinely feel like it lasted an entire month simply because your brain stored so many distinct memories. Meanwhile, an entire unremarkable month spent quietly at home, doing the exact same things every single day without variation, can shrink down dramatically into what feels like just a single blurry afternoon in your memory, almost as if it barely happened at all in your personal timeline. This same effect explains why a single week of international travel can produce more vivid, lasting memories than an entire ordinary year spent at home. Every unfamiliar street, every new flavor of food, every unexpected conversation with a stranger adds another distinct entry into your brain's long-term storage. This is exactly why, somewhat paradoxically, time feels incredibly slow while you're bored, since every single passing minute is consciously felt and noticed, but feels remarkably fast in review afterward, because boring time leaves almost nothing meaningful behind to actually remember or reflect on later. And the reverse phenomenon is also genuinely true. Have you ever noticed that during an intense, exciting, or even dangerous moment, time seems to slow down dramatically? Many people in real emergencies report experiencing that exact moment in extreme, vivid slow motion, almost frame by frame as it unfolds. Researchers believe this happens because the brain, completely flooded with adrenaline and heightened attention, is laying down memories at an incredibly high density in that exact instant. So it's the same underlying mechanism, just stretched temporarily to an extreme, dramatic degree under pressure. So what can you actually do with all of this information in your own life? Psychologists and neuroscientists generally agree on a few genuinely practical takeaways. First, deliberately break your routine on purpose whenever you reasonably can. Take a different route home. Try a brand new hobby. Travel somewhere unfamiliar, even if it's relatively nearby. Every new experience you deliberately introduce into your life adds real density back into your personal timeline, making that stretch of time feel meaningfully longer when you eventually look back on it. Second, genuinely pay attention to what's happening around you right now. Mindfulness and presence aren't just empty feel-good concepts. They appear to genuinely affect how richly your brain encodes any given moment as it happens. The more attention you actively give to something, the more vivid the resulting memory becomes, and the slower that exact moment will feel later when you eventually look back on your entire life. There's also a strong connection between this entire phenomenon and sleep. During deep sleep, your brain actively consolidates the memories formed during the day, strengthening the most vivid and meaningful ones, while quietly discarding routine, forgettable details that simply weren't important enough to keep around. Some researchers studying this exact effect have measured something striking. Adults who deliberately seek out new experiences on a regular basis report that their years genuinely feel subjectively longer and more satisfying than those of adults stuck in rigid, repetitive daily routines, even when both groups live the exact same number of calendar days. And third, something surprisingly simple that anyone can do: write things down regularly. Keeping even a brief daily journal, just 1 or 2 sentences about what genuinely made today different from yesterday, gives your brain a useful anchor point. Years from now, looking back at hundreds of small, unique daily entries does something remarkable. It stretches your perceived timeline in a real, measurable way. Your life doesn't actually get any longer in total hours, but it can certainly start to feel that way, simply because you gave your brain more distinct moments worth holding on to and revisiting later. So why does time feel faster as you get older? It's not because time itself is actually changing in any physical sense. It's because the rate at which you create new, vivid, distinguishable memories slows down as life becomes more routine. If this changed how you think about time,